and welcome to episode 3 of the greenhouse studio. I'm not in the greenhouse studio just right now. I'm going tomorrow and I'm going to be spending 2 days there, hopefully just getting like a whole lot of throwing done and trimming. Because the weather's been quite warm, I'm kind of hoping, and because it's a greenhouse, that I can maybe like throw one day and like trim the next, or even like trim on the same day if I kind of leave everything out. I'm gonna like see how it goes, because things do dry quite quickly in there, just again because it's a greenhouse, so it can be quite warm in there. But I've just spent the past couple days just doing lots of drawings and paintings to just give me some nice like visual ideas of what I want to do. Also, it's just a good idea to I've just been kind of playing a bit and just drawing lots of like different shapes and styles, and I'm obviously not going to do everything that's in here just because that's quite a lot of stuff, but I'm going to choose from what I spoke about in the last vlog. I gave myself kind of a checklist of things that I want to do, and I'm going to kind of use this as kind of reference for design work. I'm also going to add in just a couple of, I don't know how many I'll do of these, but I really like there's these incense houses which look really lovely, and I thought I could carve some really nice kind of folk inspired designs into them and paint, and I think that would be really nice to do. So I think I'm going to add just maybe like 2 or 3 of those into this kind of, I'm calling it the spring collection, but I feel like I might not get it out until maybe like the end of May, which I guess is still like spring, isn't it really? And just a couple of different I want to kind of experiment a little bit as well, just with some ideas that I've had. And there's also been a couple new takeaway mug ideas which I'd like to kind of try, and again it's all going to be like really small batch stuff, to be honest, just because again I just don't have the space to keep everything, and also I don't know what's going to sell and what's not. But I just thought I would kind of show you what I've drawn and painted, and just all of like my little ideas. So this is the first spread of things, and I've already been working on these 2 items. So you can see here, this is kind of going to be a green glazed mug, and then there's going to be these carved indents. You can see me working on these in the last vlog. I think I might just end up leaving these mugs just plain green, if I'm being honest, just because I've never really done anything that's just been a single glaze, and I think that might, well, I just wonder if that might sell, you know, that people might be more attracted to it if it's just like a more simple design. And then this is just kind of an idea for, I'm going to do 3 plates which are going to be 3 British birds kind of all together. An idea for a candlestick holder. Again, I don't know if I'm going to do these or not. This is more for fun, I feel, than anything. These are going to be some kind of altar style, I don't know what these are called. It's like kind of a wall hanging, and then you can put a little, either like a candle or a little tea light on them. I think it's called a wall sconce. I'm not 100% sure on that. You've got some more mug ideas, and then I've already done this design. Like, you can find this little sculpture on my Etsy, and I've just been debating whether or not to do more of them, but to be honest they haven't sold just yet, so I think I'll probably just wait. And then I do have some kind of little ideas around some necklaces. And then moving on, these are just a couple of general ideas for some altars, wall hangings. I say like altars or kind of trinket shelves, just depending on, I don't know whether or not to, because I was gonna, this one especially, I thought it would be cool to add some sort of doors to them to make it look more of an altar. But again, we'll just see, because again, I always feel like these are probably the designs I have the most fun with, but I don't know how likely they are to sell. And then this little design is going to be a dish with a little house in the middle, and I thought it'd be really cool if you could like remove the house and put a little incense cone in the middle. Again, just I need to kind of like get in and just obviously play with the clay with these. This is just a teapot idea, and then we've got just some, this is like unfinished. I thought like a really long kind of decorative plate would be quite cool, and vase idea. This is kind of one of the ideas I want to experiment with, where it's creating a snail, but then the house you can kind of detach and put a little incense cone on it, so then it looks like the snail's house is kind of smoking. I thought it would just be a cool idea. This is a really nice idea that I think I am going to bring to life, of making a takeaway mug with these kind of like hills and a little house on them. I thought it would be quite cool to kind of physically make the takeaway mug sculptural. So instead of just painting these on with a glaze, I thought I could cut out slabs of clay and then like place them on, so it'd give it like a bit more of a 3D effect. And same with the house. And then I thought what would be really nice is to paint the clay with an underglaze, and then like a green underglaze, sorry, and then over the top put ever so slightly a green glaze, so then you get the contrast of kind of the gloss and then the matte clay underneath it. And then for the rest of it, keep it kind of the neutrally beige colour, and just do a clear glaze, obviously to make it food safe and stuff, but have kind of this bit a bit more interesting, so then it almost looks like there's, I don't know, I just thought that having that contrast would look quite nice on these. But again, I need to do a bit of experimentation with that. Then moving over here, love this teapot. I think this teapot's very, very cool, and like I really like this house as an idea of making like an incense holder. You can see that you'd have like a little don't know what you'd call this, just like a little seat for the incense cone to sit on, and then you put the house on top, so then it looks like someone's home, which is, I think, quite a nice idea. And I like the black and the white as well. I thought again this would look really good just with my painting designs, just because a lot of my paintings can be quite intricate. Just some more ideas of kind of different like altars, and a few more takeaway mugs. And I quite like this small teacup. I kind of think like if I did a teapot, I'd probably do these two together as like a set, do like 2 teacups like that, and then have them as like a big set, which again I think it was on my list of things to do for fun, just because again teapots are really hard to make and it would be quite an expensive set to sell, so obviously the likelihood of that selling would be smaller. And then this is what I've been working on today, so you can just see their sketches. I haven't painted them or anything like that, I'm just playing a bit, to be honest. And like I quite like this shape, and I like the moon and the sun, trying again with that kind of incense holder snail idea. I'm gonna do obviously a big plate with kind of a woman's face on it, and make it just like a decorative plate instead of functional. Some more kind of like mug cup ideas. I thought it would be quite cool to have a go at using a underglaze to paint the white clay green, and then kind of like carve away this like nice kind of floral design, so you get that nice kind of contrast between like a nice kind of like dark green and then the kind of beigey white clay. Again, like I've realised I'm like definitely not a production potter. I get more enjoyment out of doing like one-off pieces, but I think doing sets is always really nice. So I've already done kind of a set of 5 takeaway mugs, and then a set of like 5 smaller mugs, and then even if I do decide to do this, I could always, sorry, there's a car driving past, I don't know if you can hear it. Like even if I go ahead and do this design, I could always do just like a set of 3 of them, so then at least it feels a bit, I don't know, coherent, instead of kind of doing, I don't know if it's, I need to have a look into kind of like the saleability of doing like a one-off in, because I know like people have mentioned before, it's like they like to buy things in sets, so if people bought like 2 of these, that would be quite nice. Maybe I do 4, so like 2 sets of 2 obviously. Another nice vase idea, because I'll probably do 1 vase. I do quite like this with the house. I've always wanted to have a go at doing coffee pour overs. I think as well as like a set, it looks really nice together, especially you do like kind of what do you call it, if you do matching designs as well. And then just a few other little bits and bobs, just trying to play. The next clip you'll probably see me in the studio, and I'll be hopefully cracking on with some work. Hello, welcome back to another. Sorry, I'm just trying to sort out the lighting because it's really white behind me. Welcome back to another episode of the Greenhouse Studio. I think I already started this in the van because I had shown you some drawings that I've done. I'm going to just show you what I've been throwing, and you've kind of seen a little bit of throwing. You can see behind me here. I'll turn these around actually to make it easier. So I've done 3 more takeaway mugs. These ones are going to be a little bit of an experiment, so I didn't want to do loads of them, again, just in case things like don't sell. So I've done 3. This is a spout for a teapot, and you've got a big vase over there. This is for me. I am such a slow tea and like coffee drinker. Well, I mainly drink tea and decaf coffee, so I saw this little idea where it's a little tea warmer. You put a tea light on the inside and then you put your mug on top of it, and it kind of keeps your tea warm. So I was like, oh, I had a bit of clay left over, so I was like, oh, I'll do that. It's like a little something for me. And then if you come over here, this is just the body of the teapot, and then behind it there, sorry, my camera is not very good, you can kind of see the lid. And then I think that's kind of it. It's been quite a slow throwing day, to be honest, and again, I'm trying to be very mindful about what I'm throwing. I started throwing some plates, but I realised that I think I need to, in the future, purchase maybe a batting system. So I have thrown a plate, but it was really hard to get off the bat, and I don't know if that's because my bat, if I just show you down here, I've also got like a very small bat, but then also trying to get it off has just been a nightmare. And it was a lot easier getting plates off when I had wooden bats, but again, it was just such a nightmare trying to attach the bigger bats onto that small metal wheel. I need to, well, just at some point in the future, I could probably do with trying to get a custom batting system, because I don't even know what my wheel make is. It was very kindly, I think like lent to me. I can't remember if she gave me it or if she lent me it. It was like another potter that I know didn't use it anymore, so she asked if I wanted it, and it's a lot better of a wheel than the one that I had. My first ever pottery wheel was one I got off Amazon, and it like did me well for just being a beginner potter. I'd still kind of class myself as a beginner potter, to be fair, but I think it's starting to rain. What colour is my window? So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. The takeaway mugs that I did a few weeks ago have been drying slowly. I saw a few cracks in some of the mug handles, and I was like, oh, but it has been really warm in here today, so I think just maybe they've dried like too quickly, but I've tried to fix them as best I can. I also have some clay down here that's Reclaim that I'm going to use for, oh sorry, didn't mean to do that. That I'm going to use for doing some hand building now. Sorry, as I was saying there, it started to absolutely just chuck it down, and I didn't realise my mum's dog was still like out in the garden, so I just popped her back in. But yeah, I'm going to use the Reclaim clay to make some hand built stuff. I really want to do some like little houses that are incense holders, so I'm going to work on that next. And then I might work on some altars, but I'm just going to roll all the clay out. And then because it is quite warm in here, hopefully I won't need to wait too long to be able to assemble it all. But yeah, let's just see how we get on, because I need to do some measuring, I think, and just like trying to make everything the same. So yeah, we'll just see how we get on with this. I've just been doing a bit of trimming. Sorry if you can't see my face. I just wanted to show you. This is going to be a teapot, but I've just finished it, and I am really pleased with it. I'm a bit unsure how thin the lid is, because it's quite a little lid, but it fits very well, and so I'm pleased with that. I'm just a bit worried about it warping because it's so thin, but it might be fine. I might just, because I mean it fits so well. I don't really want to do much else to it, I think. And as well, this is going to be my first ever teapot that I've ever made, so I think I've got to give myself a little bit of grace, but it looks pretty good so far. And then I've just been trimming the takeaway mugs. They're a lot drier now, but this morning when I first started, I did kind of go over them with a hairdryer just to kind of help dry them out a bit quicker, just because I don't want to rush this, but I'm only here like 1 or 2 days a week, so it's like trying to get as much done as I feel like I can. I mean, I've also done a nice vase. I need to go back in and I feel like I need to neaten up the foot a little bit more, but I was just waiting. It was just a little bit too soft. And then this is the spout for the teapot, so I need to kind of trim this down and like attach it. I need to have a little look into how to, like, whereabouts on the teapot to attach it so it's good at pouring.